Hey everyone! So you just finished watching our travel agent ship tour of Royal Caribbean's Enchantment of the Seas. We did this tour on August 13th of 2018. It was a little bit different than other ship tours we've done in the past, where this was pretty hurried. It kind of moved at a quicker pace. It was a lot shorter than other ones.
I think it was only like 3 hours, including eating.
Yeah, it was really quick. A lot of the other ones run more about 4, maybe 5 hours that we've done in the past with other cruise lines. But still, we enjoyed it. Had a very nice meal. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we got to see most of the ship. There were some things we didn't see, probably due to the nature of the tour and how quick it was. But we just wanted to give you overall thoughts on what you've just watched, the different ideas that we've had, what we think might be good or bad about the ship, who it might be right for, and just different things that came across our mind. So just to start off, we'll give you some quick facts about the Enchantment of the Seas in case you didn't know. So this is part of Royal Caribbean's Vision class, and it was built in 1997. So it's actually one of their older ships. I think they only have like 4 or 5 that are older than this one currently in their fleet. And it's 12 decks, so it's a smaller ship. Doesn't have a lot of room on it. I think it can hold, let me look here, like 2,200 people and change.
Yeah, I think like around 24 after they did the renos.
That's right, yeah. So it's not overly much when you're looking at like an Oasis class or something like that can hold upwards of 5,500.
Yeah, it's not even close
not
in that
even
regard.
Close to that.
Yeah.
So definitely not what you would be going for. You would definitely be enjoying a more intimate experience, smaller crowds and the likes, and we'll get into that more as well. So currently this ship is sailing 3 and 4 night Bahamian cruises from Port Canaveral. However, starting May 2019, Royal Caribbean is doing a realignment of some of their fleet here in Florida, and this ship will actually be going to Galveston, Texas. Will start doing some more like Western Caribbean kind of things, a lot of Cozumel, of course, with proximity to Galveston. And actually, Mariner of the Seas, that has just recently been renovated, will be coming to Port Canaveral. And spoiler alert, keep your eyes open because we are sailing on that very, very soon, Mariner of the Seas. So we will have a full in-depth review and video of that. Lots of good content should be coming that way.
Only about a month now.
Yes.
So
very, very soon.
close.
So it'll be awesome. But for now, let's get back to Enchantment. I mentioned it, one of the older ships. It did have a massive renovation in 2005 where they added more staterooms and other things. I think they actually expanded the ship a little bit. And then it also had a dry dock in 2012 where Royal Caribbean did this fleet-wide. They actually got, flat screen TVs in the room, got the old tube TVs out, did more technological updates, and added Wi-Fi capabilities, things like that. Poolside movie screen was added on there as well. Having said that, it's starting to show its age still. It could definitely use another refurb, and we're going to get into more of that later. But for now, Chelsea's going to tell you about some of the activities and dining and all the kind of fun things they have on board Enchantment of the Seas.
Right. So, like we said, we didn't see everything because it was a short tour. A couple of things we didn't see, but seems like it would be very fun, is they have these trampoline bungee things. It's kind of like if you go to the mall and you see those things set up for kids, or maybe the fair, you see those things where you're attached to a bungee and you can jump on a trampoline, you can do flips and stuff on them. They have some of those, which is cool. I'm disappointed we didn't get to see it, but it's a fun option for kids, or if you're an adult and you want to jump around, it's fun for you too. But they have a rock wall. They have one rock wall, which is great. They also have an arcade that you do have to pay extra for, but it's there. And of course it has, same as every royal ship, it has a nursery, it has a kids zone and a teen area, all separate by their ages. So options for the kids. And for the adults, it has the adult solarium, which is common for royal ships. And I actually really like this part of the ship. Very calm, very relaxing, very good for adults. It has their own pool and their own hot tubs and everything like that. And it was a really nice area. One of my more favorite parts of this ship. And it has Casino Royale, just like every other royal ship. And this one was actually, roll those bones, 7. Snake eyes.
7 out.
Well, and this one was really cool because I was kind of expecting it to be smaller, which it was, it was smaller than maybe an Oasis class ship or something like that, but I thought it was a pretty good size considering the size that Enchantment is, that it's a smaller ship. It had plenty of tables. It had really very cool, like, high slot machines where, like, the screen, like, dipped in and it was, like, all the way up to the ceiling. It was really cool. And then when we exited, and I'm sure you saw it in the video, where the ground was glass and then it had, like, an ocean bottom. It had, like, coral.
Like a coral and all this stuff on it. Like, hopefully it came out in the video pretty well, but it was really cool. Like, we, for context, sailed on Oasis of the Seas last year, and the casino definitely was much larger, like twice as big, I would say. And they have it split into sections, like smoking and non-smoking, and this was like one of the sections. But like she said, it had all that stuff in it. But it was interesting to see the extra design efforts put in, but I think that kind of radiated throughout the entire ship. So it was cool to also see that flow into the casino, where typically that's not going to be a focus because it's just about the gambling. But they did have those like slot machines, like you said, the newer, higher tech ones. Yeah. They did still have some of the old like pull reel kind. I mean, they still can hit the button, but a lot more digital technological stuff. I know I saw multiple tables for roulette, blackjack, craps, and some poker, I think, set off to the side. They don't typically have a lot of that set up. That's more of a segregated thing. So
we also saw the spa. We didn't go up into the fitness center, the actual exercise part, but we did go in the spa and saw some of the, kind of peeked in the massage rooms a little bit, and it seemed nice. You know, obviously we didn't have a treatment in 3 hours or anything, so I can't say how great the services were or anything, but the lady at the desk was extremely nice and helpful, and seemed very clean, very relaxing, had that good, nice, calm spa smell, so that was nice. And the ship also has a running track in case, you know, you want to be good and run and work off stuff better than we are on vacation, but if you want to go for it, go for it. And it had like the shops that you can do the duty-free shopping in. The cool thing and different, you know, like we said, we sailed on Oasis last year. They had like it in the promenade, so it was kind of like in the middle of everything. This ship had just kind of like a separate area all to shopping. If you've ever been on a Disney ship and seen their gift shop area, it's very similar to this, and I'm sure you saw in the video, but it's just like one kind of big shopping mall kind of area. But it was, I thought it was a pretty decent size considering the size of the ship. It does have an outdoor movie theater. That was one of the things that was added during, I think during the 2012 reno. So if you want to do that poolside movie night kind of thing, they have that option's there as well.
I would say it was pretty good because like other ships we've sailed on Disney multiple times, and then of course the Oasis like we mentioned, and I would say it wasn't as good as those. Like the Oasis on the backside by their Aqua Theater has 2 huge video screens, and we watched football games out there and things like that. I would say those were a bit higher quality. They were definitely bigger. Yeah. And I would say the one that Disney has on their ships, just a little bit higher quality. Again, from what we saw, we didn't get the true experience because it was so quick. But it wasn't subpar, substandard by any means. It was still very nice. So that was a good feature to have.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be a smaller screen than those bigger ships and things like that. But in terms of like having that experience and, you know, having an open air out on the ocean movie night kind of thing, this would definitely be successful in that. Like I mentioned, the solarium has the adults only pool and hot tubs, and then there's a main pool and then hot tubs surrounding it on for everybody, for kids, adults, families, everybody. So that's the main activities of the ship. Now let's go to dining. So there's a few different options for dining. There's the main dining room, which is called My Fair Lady on this ship. And I thought it was really pretty inside. We actually ate lunch there. And we didn't have the traditional menu. We kind of got a modified, shortened travel agent kind of meal. But you get an idea of what their quality of food's like. And I mean, I liked everything that we had. I had like this, you see in the video, it was a bowl. It was like this chili, very thick, hearty with this cornbread that was really good. The cornbread was my favorite part because I'm a sucker for sweet cornbread. But it was really good. And then what did you have to eat?
It was beef, like braised beef, short ribs.
Yeah,
I
short
think is
rib.
what they called it.
Yeah.
It would it was just you could cut it with a fork. And the chili, it wasn't like any chili that I've ever seen, but I guess it technically was. It was actually a vegetarian option.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't listed as that, but that's what it ended up being. But it was, like she said, she enjoyed it. My beef was phenomenal. It was excellent. It was served with mashed potatoes, which I was trying not to eat too much of, but they were kind of just all there together with the sauce, and they were really good. It came with some vegetables that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I'm not a huge vegetable person. But I mean, they tasted good. Like if you were into vegetables, I'm sure you would love them.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just not for me.
There's certain things, you have to kind of consider, is it bad quality or is it just not your palate kind of thing?
Yeah.
There are certain things that, maybe just wouldn't be our palate. Like, if you put onions on something, I'm not going to eat it. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means I'm not going to eat it. So everything that we had, it was good quality. There may be certain things that we weren't into. Like there was some like some onions in my chili and stuff like that. Not bad. I just ate around it, but it was good quality. All the vegetables were very fresh. We both had a Cobb salad appetizer. The lettuce was very fresh.
Bacon was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was bacon that they cooked and chopped up. It wasn't
the bit
dumped on bacon bits or something like that.
Not that. It was really good.
We had the cheesecake for dessert. It was really good.
That was my favorite.
That was phenomenal.
I mean, shocker, my favorite's the dessert.
Yeah,
but
it had some kind of lemon custard or something on top of it, which at first I was like, okay, I'm going to scrape that off, but it was actually really good.
Yeah.
The crust was good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is like a smidgen of the amount of food that you would eat on an actual cruise. So we can't sit here and say, oh no, the food on Enchantment is phenomenal because we didn't have it all. But from what we experienced, you're in good hands. And I'm not one for more like fancy or elegant decor, and this dining room, as most main dining rooms do, kind of bordered on that. Mm-hmm. But this one was actually really nice. Like I thought it had nice, clean, elegant look to it. Clean lines. Everything felt very fresh. So that was good to see. I enjoyed that.
I agree. I think it was because it wasn't done overboard. It was simple but nice. Mm-hmm. If you want something a little different, this is an add-on, but they do have Chops on Enchantment. Chops is a pretty common specialty restaurant found on several royal ships. It's a steakhouse, so you can get things like steaks and burgers, and they have some other options and kind of things, but steaks is their main thing. We haven't experienced Chops yet, especially not on this ship.
But we will. That's coming in the next video, so don't miss out on that.
Right.
If you're curious about Chops.
Yes.
I have it on the Mariner review.
So we're really excited about that because that's like a pretty good royal staple. So I'm excited we're going to try that. So that's an option on this ship. It is, like I said, an extra charge per person. Usually it's around like $35-ish per person. It can fluctuate just because prices fluctuate and just depending on which ship you're on. But usually that's kind of what you're looking at for dinner. And then just like any good cruise, it has a buffet. We went through Windjammer's Cafe. So that's their buffet on the ship. And it was kind of designed differently. So it was like the main hub was in the middle with all the meats and the sides and everything like that. And then it had like a pod coming off of it that had like the salads and the breads and stuff like that. It did seem to get kind of congested in there, which, I mean, any ship, the buffet is going to be the most congested part of the ship. That's just always how it is, because people like the buffet. But this one, I feel like it could have maybe been designed a little bit.
Yeah, and you'll see on like newer royal ships, it is designed differently. Yeah. So I think they learned, and this is just an older design that doesn't really work as well. And like just when we pass through, you'll see on the video, You won't be able to hear it, but there were people complaining about how it was lined up. So, I mean, people just tend to complain in the buffet. But, I mean, it wasn't causing, like, massive problems or anything, but it wasn't the most efficient design either.
Yeah. Just something to keep in mind. It's not, like, a deal breaker by any means. No. It's just something to kind of keep in mind.
They had a lot of options.
The food looked good.
Yeah, there was a lot of options. And they did have, like, I can't remember, was it dessert and drinks and maybe bread on each side of, like, there's 2 entrances. Yes. They had it on each side. Yeah. So that you could get easily from either way. And then the kind of the main stuff was in this, like, circular hub that was a weird shape. But other than that, it looked good.
Yeah. They have Park Cafe, which is kind of a place to get some sandwiches, some chips, some wraps, you know, some lighter kind of fare, maybe like for lunch or something like that. The food looked good. It actually had a lot of stuff in that one little booth.
I think I saw like pizza and like make your own salad.
Yeah.
Well, not make your own, but you tell them what you want on it. It was made to order salad.
Right. Yeah. So definitely some good options. If you're maybe kind of looking like, oh, I don't feel like going through the buffet and I don't feel like dealing with all that. You know, you could go over there, have some lunch, sit by the pool, eat. A little more relaxing kind of lunch. So that's included, and that's an option. They have Cafe Latitudes, which you'll also see on some other royal ships, but it includes, it's coffee, pastries, things like that. This is an extra card if you don't have some kind of beverage package to go with it. But if you're looking for like some specialty coffee, lattes, espresso, that kind of thing, this is your place. Just keep in mind that it is an extra charge, as well as it also had a Ben & Jerry's right next door to it. In addition to dining, there's also several bars and lounges, some staples that you'll see on several royal ships like Boleros and the Schooner Bar. And this Schooner Bar was actually really big.
Yeah, it was. I was impressed by it.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I think it was bigger than the one on Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis has kind of seemed like a little bit of an afterthought. Like, oh, we have this little space, let's squeeze in the Schooner Bar.
Yeah, it was.
Which, I mean, I get because they have, like, so many other venues.
Right.
So, you know, not everything is as much of a focus, but...
This one definitely seems like it got treated as, like, we want this to be one of our main lounges kind of thing. And it's a piano bar, so they'll have piano playing sometimes. And they have Spotlight Lounge and then the Viking Crown Lounge. These are some of the bigger ones where they'll do, you know, maybe some like karaoke event or they'll do like some games. It also has a Diamond Club, which is for if you have reached your Diamond, Diamond Plus, or Pinnacle status with your Crown and Anchor points, then you have access to this lounge. Unfortunately, it's not available to people in lower categories, but if you've reached that status, it's an option for you, as well as the Concierge Club, which is available to people in suite classes. If you have concierge with your room or you're in a suite room, this extra lounge/club is available to you.
And it should be noted that if you've seen some of our other stuff when we went on Oasis, we stayed in a suite. If you're on Oasis class or Quantum class ships, Royal offers a program what they call the Royal Suite class. Mm-hmm. And we're probably going to have some more videos on that soon too. But just note that this would not be included because this ship is not on those classes. So you can still get suites and you can still have a special club for concierge level.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be some of the other benefits, like a coastal kitchen, a specialty restaurant set aside, and other things like that. So it's still worth looking into, but you're just not. It's not going to be part of that package. If you've heard Royal Suite class, this isn't that, but it's still an option for you on this ship.
Yeah, that's a good point to make because there's definitely a distinction there for sure.
Right.
And that's really the main areas, activities, dining options that you're going to get on this ship. Like we said, it's one of the smaller ships, so the list isn't as long as maybe an Oasis class ship or even a Quantum ship or something like that. I mean, overall, I think it was a nice ship. It was definitely very clean.
Yeah.
Everyone I talked to who worked on the ship was very nice and helpful.
Very friendly.
Definitely has that royal customer service, I think. And I think overall the public areas were all very good. You get kind of that older kind of cruise feel. It's definitely not modern by any means. If modern is your thing, this probably isn't the ship for you. But if you are kind of into that cruise nostalgia.
Yeah, there's more of a focus, I'd say, on view. You know, there's a lot of glass, art. There's a lot of art, like older style art.
Yeah.
Like we said, not modern art like you'd see on these newer ships nowadays. It's nothing like that. You know, the finishings, the furnishings, the different kind of textures and design elements all screamed, I don't want to say old, but, you know, old.
Yeah, old.
It's not new, certainly.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely charming in its own right.
Yes, I think charming's a good word for it.
This is kind of like our pros and, you know, things that really stood out to us in a good way, and then things that you might want to consider. So we've kind of just touched on very clean. The staff was incredibly friendly, as always, what you would expect. And the public areas, I thought, were the best part of this ship. Yeah. When you go into these different lounges that we talked about, or you go into these different restaurants, they're really laid out. They're designed well. There's a lot of seating. It felt very comfortable. Lots of stuff to look at. They really put effort, like I said, into the design of the interior spaces and the furnishings and the art and all of those. So I would say those are the things that stood out in a most positive way. If there were some things that you might want to consider, it's the fact that, as we've said now multiple times, this ship, you know, is getting up there in age. And while it never felt dirty or not clean by any means, there were some spots, you might see it in the video, where it's showing its age. There's rust.
The rust thing was exterior. It wasn't anything interior. No. But just, you know, it's out on the ocean all day. It's getting salt water. The rust is eventually going to happen.
But the inside, like inside the staterooms, is getting worn. The furniture is kind of beat up. You know, the carpet needs to be replaced kind of thing. Again, it felt clean. I wouldn't have a problem staying there or sailing on it. But it's definitely not like wow, this is a fresh, new, energetic feel to it. It's not that.
It just needs a little TLC. Just a little bit of a heads up so you're not walking in expecting one thing and getting something else. I don't think it's something where you should not consider this as a very good option, because I think it is a good option for a lot of people. Just something to be aware of before getting on.
And then I would say the other biggest thing with it is, as you heard us going over what's on the ship, there's certainly things to do. There's the outdoor movie screen, there's the pools, there's the casino, but it kind of ends there. There's not a lot, especially I would say if you're taking younger travelers or even teens or maybe people like our age in your 20s, like, I don't know that this is maybe going to be their favorite. I just don't think there's enough offerings there.
Yeah, there's things there. It's just kind of what's more important to you. If having, you know, lots of things to do, like having the flow riders and the zip lines and the water slides and stuff like that, if that is your thing, then Royal has some better options for you than this ship. I think if you're looking for more relaxing, not just looking to do.
You want the intimacy of an old style sailing. Maybe you're someone who's cruised for years, 20 years, and you remember what it used to be like, because that's kind of what it felt like to me. This is how it used to be. And so maybe you're not on board with all these new fancy conflabbed contraptions they're putting on there. Yeah. And so you would really enjoy being on this.
I think this is a good option for first-time cruisers because there's not an overwhelming amount of things going on.
Yes.
Like, these ships that are 18 decks tall and have, 10 different restaurants and have some different activity everywhere you turn. And it can be overwhelming if you've never cruised before, navigating yourself around and getting your sea legs, so to speak. So if you're new to cruising, I think this is a really good one to start on and to see if you like it and just to kind of get your footing and see, especially just to see how Royal works in particular.
If you're just trying to get acclimated to how a cruise works, this could be a good option for you. But if you're looking for the glitz and the glam and all the fun, there's better options. That's all there is to it. There's just better options. So that's why Royal's great, is because they have a fleet of 25 ships. And there's something to fit every taste and budget. So,
yeah.
Well, that's it. I think that's. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I think that's good. I think we covered it all.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, anything like that, you know where to get us. You can leave a comment here on the YouTube video. You can hit us up on our Facebook page. We have email as well. Matt.Hoffman@cruiseplanners.com, Chelsy.Hoffman@cruiseplanners.com. You can give us a call if you need to, if anyone still does that. Most people like to use tech nowadays. 386-530-2773. We'll have all the information up here in just a second, too, so you can view that. But I think that's it for now, so thanks for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll have more videos for you soon. So take care, guys. Cheers!
Happy travels!